phone for more than 2 hours with Chinese leader Xi Jinping this week amid increasingly strained U.S.-China relations. Xi Jinping reportedly warning the president against Speaker Pelosi's possible upcoming trip to Taiwan, telling Biden on the call, quote, "Those who play with fire will perish by it." No word on whether Biden pushed Xi on stealing American intellectual property for decades, the origins of COVID-19, which have killed 1 million Americans, tariffs, or the CCP trying to spy on the Federal Reserve, among other surveillance campaigns in America. Joining me right now is Wisconsin Senator and member of the Senate Foreign Relations and Homeland Security Committees, Ron Johnson. Senator, it's great to see you this weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to get your take or your assessment of the call between Joe Biden and Xi Jinping. We have no evidence that Joe Biden raised the origins of COVID-19. We know that all of the circumstantial evidence tells us that COVID was leaked from the Wuhan lab, the virology lab, and the CCP has covered it up, will not allow an investigation into what went on. And Joe Biden spoke with him 5 times. This was the 5th phone call, and he hasn't brought it up. Why?
Well, Maria, unfortunately, I think world leaders have pretty accurately assessed Joe Biden and his administration as being completely weak. Just about every action this administration has taken since taking office has weakened this country. Opened our borders, 41-year high inflation, record gasoline prices, the embarrassing and dangerous defeat from Afghanistan. I mean, this is the year 2022, and we don't have enough baby formula to feed our infants. And you throw on top of that with the people like the Chinese leaders, they know exactly the extent to which Joe Biden is compromised by Hunter Biden's financial entanglements around the world. Yeah, we may not know all the details, but I'm pretty sure that Chinese intelligence know all the details. So, you know, I just assume, at this point, when you see the weakness that President Biden is displaying to China, that he's just thoroughly compromised. He just doesn't feel he can act.
Well, he's given the CCP everything that they want so far in this year and a half in office. It's pretty much the CCP's guy. Let's face it, he canceled the China initiative. He's considering removing the tariffs on Chinese imports. We don't have any pushback whatsoever about the massive amount of fentanyl that is coming into this country. It's made in China. And of course, the COVID-19. So do you think that Xi Jinping and the CCP have something on Joe Biden, and that's why he keeps rolling over for China? Because he won't call them an adversary. He only calls them a competitor.
I think it's a legitimate concern. It's what Senator Grassley and I tried to warn America about in September 2020 when we issued our report showing the vast web of foreign financial entanglements. And then, you know, we certainly saw Hunter Biden's a laptop come through. Now, it's stunning. It's not shocking, but it's outrageous that we now learned that the FBI had a scheme to downplay any derogatory information on Hunter and basically end the investigation. We know that the FBI had Hunter's computer back in December 2019. What have they done with it? They certainly were not forthright from us. When we were offered that computer, we did our due diligence. We went to the FBI. Could this be stolen property? Is this thing real? They didn't tell us anything. They buried the story. So, you know, an awful lot. You know, Chuck Grassley and I were falsely accused of soliciting and disseminating Russian disinformation. Did that come from that initiative inside the FBI to label any derogatory information about Hunter as Russian disinformation? I think more and more pieces of the puzzle are coming into clear view here. But tell you what we need. First of all, thank you to those FBI informants that contacted Senator Grassley. We need across the board more informants, more whistleblowers in the Department of Justice, the FBI, our federal health agencies. If you are concerned, embarrassed by the corruption of your agency, if you want to restore integrity and credibility to your federal government agency, you need to come forward because these agencies are not coming clean. They're not being transparent. They're not being honest with the American public.
And And there are real ramifications for the American people being unable to trust the FBI. I mean, you say the FBI intentionally tried to discredit negative information that came out of Joe Biden's son and that laptop right before the election, 2020. This is on top of that whole scheme to come up with this lie that Donald Trump colluded with Russia. And the FBI knew, I've done extensive work on this, they knew that the dossier was fake. They were told in January of 17, we made it up and it was embellished. And yet they continued to pursue FISA warrants to spy on Trump officials. So what's with the FBI, and are you going to investigate the FBI?
Absolutely. I've asked Michael Horowitz, the Department of Justice Inspector General, to give me a call next week. He was out of town, but I've written him a number of times, for example, to investigate the briefing the FBI gave to us. We didn't ask for it. I knew it was going to be used to smear us, and it was. There's been corruption. I would say it starts with the editing of James Comey's exoneration email of Hillary Clinton, and it followed right through the corrupt investigation into Russian campaign collusion, or Russia's collusion with the Trump campaign, which was completely false, has continued to this day. So no, we need to clean house of the FBI. Christopher Wray, under his leadership, the FBI, even though they knew the Steele dossier contained Russian disinformation, briefed the Senate Intel Committee that it was, it had integrity. So we have time and time instances of FBI corruption, but the Department of Justice isn't looking into it, and it certainly is not being solved under Christopher Wray.
Senator, it's just extraordinary, all of it. Thanks very much for your leadership here. Senator Ron Johnson joining us in Wisconsin. Thank you, sir. A quick break. Don't go anywhere.